Hello and welcome to our conservation park proposal. We have chosen to build our conservation park in Turkey, more specifically in the southeast area of the country, near the Yaylık province. Our proposed park will have an area of 415.53 kilometers squared. We have chosen this area because, according to the Protected Planet Digital Report, Turkey is a country with an overwhelmingly high concentration of key biodiversity areas outside protection, on land and in the ocean. Additionally, Turkey has under 5% of protected ecoregion area coverage, leaving its biodiversity extremely vulnerable and exposed to the world around them. In this particular area, there is a lack of conservation efforts, which is why we believe it makes the ideal spot for a conservation park. We have decided to do a rectangular shaped park. This was decided in order to take full advantage of the area we have chosen and create a park with a minimal edge to area ratio. By doing so, we decrease the likelihood of invasive species possibly disrupting its ecosystems. This map shows the conservation park in greater detail with the labeled buffer zones. The blue zones are the two areas in which tourists and other people entering the park are allowed to explore. The black zone is one of the most important areas in the park. This is the position in which scientific research will be conducted. Visitors and most workers will not be allowed inside this area so that scientists can gather precise data. The core area is the land inside the yellow borders. We prioritize making it as big as possible so that there are more species living in a human interference-free zone. Despite its immense biodiversity, the Turkish government isn't as environmentally friendly as we would have hoped for. In fact, in 2019, Turkey was one of the 5 countries to vote against the United Nations Pact for the Environment. This could make it harder for us to get the much needed government funding for the construction of our conservation park. Luckily, the Turkish government has been incessantly attempting to join the European Union, and this organization has made it clear that Turkey has to improve their environmental agenda, which led to the Turkish government receiving 10 billion euros for environmental issues. Turkish culture is one that has derived from many cultures. However, Turkey is considered to be one of the most westernized majority Muslim nations in the world today. In their holy book, men and women are viewed as God's protectors on earth to defend all of his creations, in other words, nature. Preservation is therefore not just seen as a good policy, but a commandment from God. Therefore, it is safe to say that with proper information, citizens native to the area in which we plan to build our park will be more than motivated to conserving nature and all the life it supports. The economic and social development of Turkey since 2000 has been remarkable, making Turkey an upper middle income country. They have thrived in various sectors of their economy, but what moves their economy the greatest is agriculture. The agricultural sector employs 29% of the country's workers. Nevertheless, Turkey remains a country that suffers from great poverty. The data shown on the screen depicts which areas of Turkey are the poorest. Note that the Mediterranean area is one of the poorest areas in Turkey, and this is precisely where we have chosen to construct our park. By strategically locating our park where it is, we are opening more jobs for the tourism industry whilst aiding local poverty.
As mentioned before, the Turkish government hasn't taken an active role on many conservation efforts. Nonetheless, some non governmental institutions are in place to protect the environment. In 2005, the IUCN National Committee of Turkey was established. They have done some conservation plans in the country. The image shows areas in Turkey which are highly biodiverse and lack conservation efforts. Our park is going to be located in point number 8. As we mentioned before, agriculture is a main economic player in areas surrounding the park. Therefore, we decided that an innovative way to attract more people to the park would be to have a designated educational facility solely focused on teaching locals sustainable agricultural practices that will better allow them to support themselves and their families. In addition to this facility, there would be another, where locals and or visitors could learn about diversity and the value behind wildlife conservation. Through education, we will not only be able to increase awareness of the environment, but also provide environmentally friendly alternatives to farming. The second UN Sustainable Development Goal that we are going to include is decent jobs and economic growth. We identified that the best way to get funding from the government is through economic growth in nearby areas. Our conservation park is located in the second poorest region in Turkey. To achieve this economic progress, we will create more jobs for the people in these communities. The third UN Sustainable Development Goal that we are going to discuss are sustainable cities and communities. The progress in these communities include new sustainable plans for the people's day-to-day life. By doing this, we will not only look to better the lives of the people, the progress of the community, but the overall health of our environment as well. It is crucial for the park functioning that the local community supports and becomes involved with the park. As the park is so closely located to these communities, we will seek further support through a win-win situation. We will provide the local people with education and jobs and strongly believe that they will respond with responsibility in the park and overall support for park activities. How will we make money to keep the park running? Besides aiming to receive government funding, the main source of income will be tourists. By having chosen an area with rich diversity, with both land and marine life, we are confident tourists will find themselves wanting to visit our park. To further ensure this, however, and as you can observe in the map shown, we have equipped our park with other recreational activities, such as zip lining and boating tours, both of which will give each visitor a great perspective of the area they are visiting. We have already mentioned many of the economic benefits for the community. These include jobs and the mission to help them improve their agricultural activities. As you may have noticed in the previous slide, we will strive to attract tourists to the park. This will furtherly benefit the local community, as there will be tourists, which can lead to hospitalization services such as hotels. That has been the breakdown of our proposed National Conservation Park in Turkey. We hope it has been informative and can inspire other conservation initiatives. Thank you.